Hello, hello. It's Kamilah Rose from the Bliss Institute, and today I watched the first episode of Another Life on Netflix. So let's talk about it. First, if you were looking for a high quality movie, TV show, it's a series. This ain't it. But it is nice. It's not shaky camera. It's not something made on the iPhone, so there's some, it's nice. It's not that bad. So it's giving me some Star Trek, but not really Star Trek. It's giving me a little is it Pan Pandarium? Pandoria? The one where everyone went crazy. It's got Ben Foster in it, and it was like they were all in trapped in the ship for a while, and it was a mess. It's giving me some of those vibes. It's definitely giving me some Annihilation due to the alien storyline vibes. Some just kind of standard alien invasion. We don't really know what's going on. We got to send people out there to figure out what's happening. We need to make contact here and figure out what's going on. We don't know what they want. Freak out, freak out, freak out. So we have the main star. I got the IMDb pulled up so I can know their names. Nico and her character. At first I was like, okay, so I'm getting some like kind of Ripley, like she's very she's got some brawn. She looks like she's probably well equipped to handle herself physically. She's not, giving me damsel in distress vibes. And then we've got the husband, which I'm actually excited for his role because I'm like, okay, this seems like that could actually excuse the cats, of course. I'm excited for his role. I'm thinking that might actually, be something that could actually go somewhere. He's playing a scientist, which is very interesting to see because you have kind of I guess this is supposed to be a inversion of the roles as the wife is the pilot or the captain of the ship and the husband is the scientist who's staying home and wanting to do all the research and to do all of the kind of back work. And so that we have, let me check and make sure, Justin Chatwin, who is playing the husband. And I do enjoy him. Oh, he was in Shameless. He was Fiona's boyfriend for a little while. That was a good movie. War of the Worlds. He played the son. Remember the magical son that disappeared and then he showed up at the end of the movie like nothing happened? That movie didn't make any sense. And then it seems like he hasn't done too much more. I mean, he's done other things, Orphan Black, things like that. But, he was on Weeds. Oh, God, he was in Brink. Okay. Well, that's a moment. Anything else good? So I'm sure you've probably seen him in some things that maybe you liked. So I like him as a scientist. He seems believable. Everyone seems believable in their roles, actually. And I honestly liked the chemistry between Nico and her husband, whose name is Eric. I thought it was good chemistry. I thought they vibed okay. It wasn't giving me so much like we're being forced to be in this. It's a little stiff, but first episode, we'll let them make it. We have Selma Blair in it, whom I love. Selma Blair is amazing. She's playing a social media personality. She's got 250 million followers. She wanted to be out in the middle of nowhere. Sorry, got the cats. She wanted to be out in the middle of nowhere and to do her filming so that it could just be her and her followers. She was just going to really show everyone. And then the aliens show up. I thought the graphics for the aliens was pretty good. There was an alien ship and then it's an alien like crystallized tower that's left there. And they're trying to figure out how to communicate with it to figure out what the aliens want from them. So, it's all right. So then, of course, the husband as a scientist is trying to figure out how to communicate with them. We've got Nico, the captain of I guess she was kind of the Salvari. captain. They want her to be the captain so they can go out there and actually make contact. They're going to take the offense. They're going to go to them and try to see if they can figure out what's going on and why they're there. And so they want her to be the captain. She's going to go. It's going to be great. She doesn't really want to go, of course, because she's going to be off the planet and they don't know what's happening. And she wants to be there with her family, which is, to be expected. But she decides to go, of course. So she goes. They're moving. So the son. Oh, and there's a daughter. So there's a daughter. Her name is Jana. Let me check that to make sure. Jana. It's this little girl. Honestly, the little girl's kind of annoying. I mean, I guess she's all right, but she's very I guess she's a little girl, she's upset because her mom's leaving. She's upset because they're moving and she's worried she won't have any friends. She's upset because I guess the dad, as the scientist, doesn't really take care of her a lot. So he doesn't really know her. And so she feels more comfortable with her mom. So she's just, going through missing a parent as they leave to go off to work and carry out their duties and responsibilities. She was all right, I guess. So the mom goes off. She gets on the ship. She has this crew. The crew is used to being led by someone else. There's this really kind of neat, the usual computer system character played as the character William. And we got a kitty. And, they're hanging out. They're going over the details of the ship. They're talking about how they've gone off course, which I'm like, that seems really random, but okay. And highly convenient for the storyline, but okay. Because I would have had a lot more questions about how we got off course and what's going on. And, but Nico is focused. She just wants to get back on course and get them where they need to be safely. She's trying to keep her ship and her crew safe. So she's like, wake them up. The first crew, we're going to head out. We're going to try to jump around this star that's out there. Now, that visual was beautiful. Jump around this star. They're going to do the usual slingshot around the planet. And I just kind of wanted to be like, I feel like I've seen quite a few sci-fi films. And, I just feel like every time they try to do the whole slingshot around a planet thing, it never works. So I'm not really sure why they still brought that up. I was like, haven't we learned? This doesn't really seem like this ever actually works. So I don't think this would be the choice we're gonna do. But everyone's like, let's try it. So then, of course it doesn't work. And the ship gets all torn up. And they're like, she wants to go off course. There is let's get his name. Zaffer, I think it is. Something like that. Zane? No, that's not him. Oh, right. Well, there is this other guy. So he used to be the captain of the ship, right? He used to run the ship and he used to be the one who was leading the ship. And it's his crew that's still on the ship. So they are there. And it's kind of awkward, because now you have this other person who's just come on and she's trying to tell everyone what to do. So they kind of go through that and talk a little bit about how it is a little awkward, but they're going to be okay. So they have the failed slingshot. And they're trying to figure out, well, what can we do? Because if we can get around this planet and get around this kind of black space thing that's out there, then they can get back on course. And so the Zephyr guy is like, I know. He's been speaking with, let me see if I can find her name, August. And she is the lead engineer for the ship. And he's like, okay, we can, when we go into light speed, it creates kind of this force field around the ship, and we can use that to protect us from the flares from the star. And then we'll be able to actually make our way around this star, and we'll be able to make it. And William The ship is like, nah, that's not safe. We shouldn't do that. That's not a good choice. And Nico's like, well, if it's not safe, it's 11% chance that it's risk that it will not work. We shouldn't do it. It's too high of a risk. And he's just like, the Zephyr guy is like, oh, why don't you want to take the risk? We signed up for this. We are not here to try to play it safe. We're trying to save everybody. And she's like, I'm not doing this. This is not good. This is not a wise decision. Mind you, back when she was still on the planet Earth, she was talking about how Zephyr, she was like, he's not qualified. He's not prepared to lead a mission of this magnitude and this stress. Like, he's not the one. And so she's like, he has a temper. He can't handle himself emotionally. So she's like, you got to calm down, dude. And we got to just try to find something else. His effects were too cheesy. Understandable. Like, it really wasn't the best. The special effects were, it was a moment. It does also have a really low rating on IMDb. Like, it's really low. And honestly, I kind of understand why. Because the storyline, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, the storyline is just like, what? Why? I feel like I'm asking a lot of why. Like, why are you doing this? Does this really make sense? It seems like there's a lot of ulterior motives. Anyways, I'm sure we'll get into that later. So then Zephyr's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to mutiny. I'm just going to take over the ship. You're not qualified. You don't know what you're doing. You don't want to take the risk to be able to actually get us to our destination so that we can try to save the world. I mean, it was just like madness. He looked crazy, for one thing. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this, I get where you're going with this storyline. I get the purpose of like why you're trying to have this storyline, but also why? Like, why? Do we really need to go this route? Because he looked crazy. So I was just like, you look like a nutcase, and you're sitting here talking about how this other, like, Nico, the main character, isn't, like, it was just too much. And I was like, okay. So then everybody on the crew, well, 2 of the crew members were like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's just, take over. We don't need to actually try to have any reasoning or be normal. And so I was like, okay, the cat's acting up again. Let's get the cat. I was like, okay, we're really going to do this. Like, we're really going to go there and just pretend like this is normal to turn on our captain in the middle of space on a super dangerous mission. We're just going to go with it. So they do. They knock her out. They put her in deep sleep. So then the guy is like, we're going to do our dangerous plan. We're going to put this bubble force field around the ship, and we're going to slingshot ourselves out there so we can get back on track. And I know what I'm doing. I mean, it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. It didn't even sound like it was going to work. And so that's what they do. They try. It doesn't work. The ship's falling apart. The computer is like, good job, because nobody really wanted to acknowledge the Zephyr guy as leader. They were all kind of like, this is really shady, this is really shisty. Nobody was really here for it, but he kind of like bulldozed his way into it. William, the computer, was like, I don't really want to do this. I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to take orders from you. But he does eventually. And then he's like, I told you this wasn't going to work. I told you this was dangerous. And everyone's just kind of looking at the Zephyr guy while the ship falls apart. And so then August goes and she wakes up Nico, because Nico's having these dreams about being back at home. And then her home starts falling apart because the ship's falling apart. And August is like, we need you. And Nico's like, she's all mad. She's like, I knew this wasn't going to go work. Now you've torn up the ship. So she's running in and she's like, do this. We have to release the nitrogen because this is falling apart. And then she's like, give me the manuals drive so I can fly the ship around and we can get out of here. And then it closes with like a bright light over the scene. So that's kind of what goes on the ship. And oh God. And then so her and Nico, like her and Zephyr, he's like, oh yeah, now that she's back, I guess we'll just follow what she says. So then they're downstairs. Nico is fixing some parts of the ship. The Zephyr guy comes in there, and he was just like, she was like, you mutinied. And he's like, it wasn't that bad. And then I was like, girl, you are really brave to just be sitting down here talking to this dude like nothing's going on. Like he didn't just knock you out and stick you inside of this sleep pod. And so then he's standing over there and he was like, you're more magnanimous than I would have been. And you see him go for the knife. And I was like, girl, I tried to tell you, he's going to try to take you out. So she's over there turning and fixing whatever. And then she, you know, I guess she has some combat skills. So she turns around and she's like, am I? It's the cat. He's fine. She's like, am I? And then she like, I guess they've got some electricity going along the walls or something. Something's broken. So she just kicks him into it and he gets fried. Because I was wondering why I didn't see his name inside of the credits or in the cast on IMDb. But I guess that's because he didn't make it past the first episode. So he gets fried. So then I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, so now we're killing people, right? So we're killing people. We're just going to, you know, fry them. The whole thing just feels a little bit like madness. All right, so that's what goes on the ship. So then we've got the husband who's back at home on Earth, and he's doing his whole science thing. He's trying to figure out how to communicate with this crystallized tower that's there that the aliens have put on Earth, and he's using pigeon sounds to try to communicate with it. That doesn't work. So then, you know, the general who sent them out there, she's looking at him like, you are wasting our money. We could be doing something much better with all this time and energy. So then eventually, you know, he's talking to Nico while she's on the ship. They're going back and forth. The daughter's throwing fits. I thought it gets on my nerves. I'm sorry. He doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing. I kind of feel like his character is a little nonplussed. Maybe he'll be more important as the show goes on. So then we see that he figures out, he's like, oh, my daughter, because the daughter sings to some baby that's crying in a restaurant, and he's like, oh, Eureka. And so he's like, okay, my daughter was singing to the baby, and the baby started to be quiet, and I realized, you know, maybe we've sent out messages before, and I was like, this is just so random. So he combs through these messages, and it turns out they've sent out a song from Mozart, so he plays the song, and he turns it down the hertz, and he turns down the frequency so that it's lower and it's softer, and it'll be transmitted like it was being transmitted through space. And they send it out to this crystallized tower that's out there in the middle of nowhere. And eventually nothing's going on. And so, you know, the general's like, and he's in here like, meh. And so then eventually, of course, you know, they send it back. It's all loud. They're like speaking. So now it's like they're talking to this alien-esque thing that's on Earth. So he's all excited. Everyone's all excited because they're like, we made contact. We've gotten a way to speak with them. Now we can try to communicate and find out what they want, find out what they're here for, find out what's going on. The general didn't look happy about it, so I'm guessing that's not what they wanted to do. I'm guessing they just wanted to blow them up or something. So yeah, that's his storyline. So I guess we'll get some more from him. And I guess we'll see on the next episode, they're supposed to go to the planet, so explore some planet, which is, of course, giving me some alien vibes, you know, Prometheus, all of that good stuff. So we're going to be on there, some planet, which I'm like, all right, so y'all were already off course, right? Y'all were already like months behind, right? You done fried one boy. You had a mutiny. The ship is damaged. And yeah, y'all about to go climb on some planet, some random planet that y'all don't know what's going to be on it. I don't know. This, I don't know. I'm going to watch the next episode. And hopefully things will get better. There is an episode I was reading through them that's talking about somehow the Nico girl gets stuck in a deep sleep, which was that I guess they fixed the ship because that material, that equipment is supposed to be damaged. And it's like she keeps reliving the worst day of her life over. I'm not watching that episode. That episode looks like trash. Probably be the best episode of this whole thing, but it looks like trash because I don't want to watch some Groundhog Day when she's stuck in some deep sleep, reliving the same thing over and over again. I'm sure to teach her some type of lesson or to have her have some type of emotional or psychological revelation or something. But I'm just like, That sounds awful. I hate episodes like that. And I fast forwarded through when she was back at home because I was like, I know she's not really there. So like going through this whole fake dream sequence, like I don't need to watch a fake dream sequence. I know she's not back. She's in the soma. She's asleep. So like I don't want to watch this because it's not good. So anyway, that's another life. You might, I don't know. It is cheesy. The oh, it is. These special effects are really cheesy. Um, it looks like something that would be made on the Sci-Fi Channel, but there's good stuff from the Sci-Fi Channel. Is Sci-Fi Channel still a thing? I haven't had cable in a really long time. I know they did all the Sharknado things. So, anyways, if you got some time, if you like space stuff, if you're not concerned about it making sense, then check it out. You might like it. If you need something to play in the background while you're doing some work, it's something. I hope that usually I hope when I'm watching a movie where people get on my nerves that everybody dies at the end. But I hope someone makes it. But I feel like it's going to be one of those ones where it's like everyone's kind of there, but they're not there. People are dying along the way, but like the people you want to die don't really die. And then like it's going to be one of those, we all make it, we all get back. And then like the captain's going to end up dying or something because she got to sacrifice herself in order to get everybody else right. Oh, right. Because on her last mission and her last ship, everybody else died. So now she's all like dedicated to the cause of getting everybody home because she doesn't want that to be on her conscience again. That, you know, I guess she can't lead the ship because every time she's leading one, everybody dies. So I really feel like they're gonna really try to make that work. And I'm gonna go because these cats are about to fight. So watch it, enjoy, good luck, bye bye.